Hi, everyone, and welcome to Fashion Decipher. My name is Sean Williams, and today we have two talented designers that we're adding to our designer thread, the ladies of luxury eyewear brand Vontélle, Miss Tracy Green and Miss Nancey Harris. How are you, ladies?
We are good.
Good.
Good, good. I mean, if you guys could give some background into your eyewear brand, and then we'll get into like your history of getting to design luxury eyewear and how you guys got there.
Well,
Sure.
I would say a little bit just to start it off. Initially, I lost a pair of glasses,
Mhm.
pair of high-end glasses, and Nancy and I went to college together. So you have one of your girlfriends you call to complain about everything,
Right.
and I called to complain because I was so upset because I paid a lot of money for them, and then she started to say, you know what, I lost a pair of glasses too, and then I started to say, I want glasses with pattern. I want glasses with more color. Everything looks the same. And then Nancy said, I think we could do this. And I was like, what?
It really started with just a conversation between two good friends and actually two best friends who rely on each other for a lot. And the birth of Vontel happened. So we're really happy. We both gave birth to this. So it's like two people giving birth to one baby.
I love that. It's definitely like, as they say, a labor of love.
Yeah,
And you guys met, you said, in college. Did you want to speak about your experience meeting at, you guys went to Morgan State?
we did. Very exciting experience. We met the first day at during attending Morgan State University through a mutual friend who to this day is still our good friend as well.
Mm.
But she had a friend that brought Tracy to her room, and I had a friend that brought me to her room. And those two people don't even know each other, but they both knew that one mutual friend, and we became friends that way. And I know that sounds confusing, but it was one person, and you know how they say 6 degrees of separation.
No, absolutely. And do you guys believe that going to a HBCU influenced you both as entrepreneurs, like to start this, or this was always like you guys both had an entrepreneur spirit?
I would say, you don't know until later on in life. I mean, I think now hindsight is 2020, and I go back and I think of myself as a teenage girl. And, I always loved fashion. I always looked at all the magazines. But I majored in finance, and at college at Morgan State, I got to find myself and find out how good I was in finance. And from there, my trajectory was in the finance field. I worked at, the mayor's office, and I've done a couple things in the finance. I was a CFO at a hospital. So I literally stayed in the finance realm. Behind the scenes, I was doing some real estate. I had a tax business. I had all these little things I was doing. Did I know I was an entrepreneur? No, I thought I was just hustling because, Black people hustle all the
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to, make extra money so I can, provide for my family. Now that we're doing Vontel, I realized that the seeds were already there, but I needed to have all those other experiences before I was able to do this business and do it successful. Nancy, what do you, from your point of view?
I'm definitely a serial entrepreneur. I've always had a 9 to 5, but then if I got laid off at any period of time, I didn't feel the rush or need to go back and find another job. I would pursue my passion, and then I'd eventually find a job because what happened is health benefits were always an issue. So for me, it wasn't even about always the money. It was really about not having the health benefits to go along with it.
Mm-hmm. Right. That like layer of security. And I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
I feel in my position, I was the same way, like always wanting to start something, but needing the health insurance has always been a battle. And I definitely I get that. So you guys said a little bit about talking about how you got into eyewear. Can you guys explain like where the name of the brand came from?
Huh?
So when I called Nancy to complain, and I said, I want to see more color and pattern. Let's start an eyewear company. And she said, let's go to Paris. She actually booked trips for us to go to Paris to this huge eye expo in Fashion Week. So we were in Fashion Week at this huge eye expo, and we're walking around, we're meeting all these French and Italian designers. And I said to Nancy, my middle name is French. we should use that. So
Okay.
before you know it, Vontélle, that's my middle name, was the name that we chose. And again, being at the Fashion Week and hearing all these lovely, beautiful names, we said, we want to be able to be attracted to everyone, right? Not just the African American culture or the Caribbean culture. We want everyone to want to buy our eyewear, and we felt that using the French name, might go easy to open us up to everyone.
Right, right. I definitely love the name. I was wondering where it came from. And also too, like you guys talked about patterns and how you were, looking for things that were different. Where do you guys draw that inspiration from? Like, where do you pick the patterns for your glasses? Because I see they're gorgeous. They have such mixed prints and colorful. Like, where do you guys get the inspiration to pick those patterns?
So the patterns are inspired by our African, Caribbean, and Latin backgrounds.
Okay.
And we know that with the different patterns that you see, even Tracy right now, she's wearing our star geezes, which are beautiful printed glasses.
Yeah, those are
They have an
gorgeous.
Ankara print on them. They're renowned, and the Giza name comes from their earth toned, as you can't see. So they're earth toned glasses that she's wearing and half wood. And the dark sienna and clay coloring delivers like an optimal, really statement piece. It's very rich in fabric, and it's an Ankara piece that she's wearing. So our names come from and originate mainly from Africa and Latina, and like we said, the Caribbean. So you'll always see names that have some type of meaning. Even with Tracy us utilizing her middle name, it had a meaning. It says, there she goes,
Oh,
or to go and walk with confidence is how we look at it. Our glasses are unisex, so we really want to point that out very early on, that Tracy has on a pair of glasses that, again, they're the stargazes, but we have a version where, if depending on your personal preference, it is a statement piece. We have a male version, and this version we would say is probably a bit more feminine, but we don't determine what anybody wears. That is
right.
totally up to the person and subject buying the glasses.
Okay. And like when you go to do the patterns and you get so in your case, Vontelle's muse comes from the African diaspora. Like, what makes you choose those patterns? Like, how do you go seek it? Is there like a connection to it personally, or do you go in markets when you travel? Well, when we were able to travel pre-COVID, were you able to, do you look for patterns that way? Like, what is the process?
Yeah, so yes, I think to answer your question, yes to all of that. Before traveling, when we travel, we have our own clothes, as you can see. Well, you can't see. We're wearing some colorful clothes today, some bright patterns. But we live in New York. So living in New York, which has a diaspora of everyone. I mean, you can go to Harlem, Uptown, Washington Heights, and get fabrics and from Spanish and Nigerian. You can go to Brooklyn. You have all the Caribbeans. You got Trinidad, you got Guyana, you got Jamaica, you got Haiti. So you have all these people living together, and they own stores. And literally, Nancey was going store to store, picking up fabric. I like this fabric. I like that fabric. I was like, I like this fabric. I was drawing things that I like to see on a piece of paper. So we kind of took all those influences from shopping, from travel, from me drawing on a piece of paper, from Nancey looking at a jacket she had in her closet, and say, these are the patterns that we like, that pop, and we want to put them on eyewear.
And I would like to add that we chose some classic prints like mud cloth, which the patterns are rich with meaning and enhance the classic glasses that we have. Tracy currently just put on the Sahara glasses that we have. They're Sahara
Mm.
Addicts. And I'll say that those are exceptionally bold and they're comfortable. The frame is a great, stylish, everyday type of glass. It has a medium wide design, crafted in a lightweight and flexible material, so that it doesn't weigh too much when you're wearing it. It really is a very light glass.
Oh, I love that. Like definitely glasses weight definitely weighs a part in it. My mom wears glasses prescription, and that's a big part of her figuring out what she would like to buy. You don't know that until you have to wear glasses all day. So I think that's a great attribute to your line. So considering the fact that you guys use like all inspiration from anywhere, like what have you say you also that you drew or you picked up patterns from like a jacket in your closet. what are the other things that you guys believe has helped you hone in your skills? Because, if you didn't come out the gate like drawing or designing, what do you think that has helped you figure out, okay, this is the way we have to go when we look for designing patterns, or have you guys draw more? Like, what was the things that help you hone in the skills for designing sunglasses?
Like,
Or just
I like,
glasses in general. Yeah. Go ahead,
go ahead.
Tracy.
No, like I was saying that I think we always had, as women, no matter what, we are all fashionistas in our minds, right? We
Mhm.
all put on those outfits. We step out into the house, like, bomb, I look
Mhm.
good,
Yeah.
right? So in our minds, we're fashionistas, right? And I think the idea of the glasses, I've been wearing glasses since I was 13 years old. So I've wore every type of pair of glasses. I mean, I've been wearing glasses for a long time, and I just wanted something different. And I realized that, we can create that. So I think I wasn't afraid to say, I'm not the best drawer, but I know what I want and I know what I like. And I think that was the first phase. And then Nancey, of course, learned to use the
Corel drawer.
Corel Draw, the program,
Oh,
which
wow.
Right.
helped her because she actually did a lot of the work of putting the designs on the glasses professionally.
Right. Okay. So then you knew, like, you seeked out, because I say this to say there's so many ways when you try to be an entrepreneur, when you think that I'm not good at this area, that you look to figure out what are the things that you have to work on. What was also, along with the drawing, what was also some of the things that you learned about yourself into this journey, eyewear? Is there something that you said, like, okay, this is something I have to learn. This is something I have to stop. As all entrepreneurs, you realize things about yourself, like, this is not going to help me. Is there's things that you guys learned when networking or anything, or even when it comes to designing, that you say, this is a benefit or this is a hindrance?
We had to learn a lot because this is not a business that you can just walk into and everything. So we had to learn sourcing, we had to learn manufacturing, we had to learn the different type of glasses and the different type of materials, what was cheap, what was not cheap. We had to learn about temples. There's so many things that go into this business that even though it feels like we've been in it for a long time, there's much more than just picking a Kente pair of glasses. Like Tracy has on a pair of Kente glasses, which the pattern is highly recognized, the Kente cloth. And those are what we consider retro style glasses that she's wearing. They're an ideal statement piece. But there's so much more than just a fashion aspect of it. We even had to learn packaging. We had to learn about shipping. There's every aspect of this business. Tracy and I can both walk away and say that we know how to do those things. It didn't come overnight. It did take some research. It did take some studying. It did take some talking to other people who are in the industry who could also help us along the way. So we have had learning lessons. We are still learning. I am actually taking a plethora of classes right now about social media so that even though we are growing our team and we have people that are assisting us, that I can also know this area and not be necessarily an expert, but be wise enough to know how to champion that and work on that particular platform. And Tracy, being an expert in finance, she has been able to grab that by the torch and lead us because we need that. She's the one who says, we need to scale back. We cannot do that. I know it sounds good, Nancey, but no, we cannot do that. And I, in my area, know that I have to step back.
Mm-hmm.
And we respect each other like that because we have areas where our strengths lie more. I was in sales and advertising before I got into this business, so I know a lot about marketing and sales. And that's how we lead.
I love that. I think the whole duality of your two, the dynamic between you two works so well. And I think that's great when you look for partnership in a business, knowing, and speaking to the fact that you say you had to learn everything. I just want everyone to know when you're starting a business and you're an entrepreneur, and I know you guys have both spoken about this in prior interviews and articles that I read about you both, how important it is that you know that you have to touch every part of your business, and knowing that you're the person who makes decisions from the bottom all the way up to the top. It's not just the great things, it's everything in between, and I just want, how has that helped you guys to, every part of your business, and how much do you stress that to young people who may want to start a company, saying that you have to know everything?
No, you do. I had a colleague reach out to us because we were lucky enough to win a grant. And she said, how did you win the grant? Who's your grant writer? And I said, me. I said, we do everything. So you have to, at the beginning phases, you don't have capital, right?
Mhm.
And we're bootstrapping this ourselves. So you literally do every job. And you have to go in, and you can't afford to pay everybody to do everything for you. So you have to say, okay, there's instructions. I did go to college. I can follow the instructions. I know what they're asking for. They're asking for a bank statement. They're asking for this. They want an essay. They want to, and you just follow the instructions. You take the time and you do it. And I think, again, like I said, our careers before this has set us up for this. You know, I wrote grants years ago when I worked for the Department of Health. So that helped me, right? Because I already know how to write a grant. The finance aspect, we have to already do taxes come March, right? So if I didn't have a tax business, I wouldn't be on top of that. And you know, you don't want to play with IRS, right? You
Oh
don't want to
yeah.
not do the taxes, and then they say you owe them a whole bunch of money that you don't have. So the business, there's the fun part, right? And then the fun part is the designing, doing these type of interviews with you, doing, you know, photo shoots. We love those things of it. That's the fun part. What's also fun, but not as exciting, is making sure the business is operating and running. So that's the finances, that's the taxes, doing the grants, making sure you're meeting with, you know, your marketing team and saying, hey, you're late on this, where's this? You have to have those uncomfortable, crucial conversations with people. Because when you're new, people say, oh, we'll do it later. And, you know, I don't have later. Everything has a timeline and we have to focus. So we often have to push our team because again, you know, people are working on other things and we have to say, hey, this is priority. This is why it's priority. We have a deadline. We need to do this. So you have to kind of focus on all parts of the business. I think Nancey and I, we do a great job of splitting the baby of doing that. And sometimes we do things together, but we're focused and we know what has to be done. And because of our prior experiences, I think it made it easier for us to do this, as some people feel like it's seamless, and even though it's not, but we are doing a lot of it ourselves. So
That's important. I mean, how do you guys also to like champion each other when you guys feel like this is a lot? Like you guys push each other to be like, you know, we can still do this, you know, that level of support. Cause, you know, running a business, that's also part of it.
I would say that we have a great balance. And if for any reason either one of us falls short in an area, we know to lift each other and we can lean on each other and say, okay, you know what, I'll do this today. You focus on some other things that are maybe not as pressing, because we do get tired and we have to take care of our health. And that's really important because we will find ourselves literally working 18 hours a day. And we are not at an age, even though we feel like we're 28, we're 29. And so it just takes a little bit more.
that extra year makes a difference.
Oh yeah, it does.
And we really have to say, let me fall back. I had an issue over the summer where my blood pressure was elevated for almost an entire week. I don't have blood pressure issues, but I think that I may have been pushing myself just a little bit more because we were about to launch. So we just realized that we have to take care of ourselves, and that in doing so, we have to respect each other and not do too much. And we set boundaries as well. So, you know, we literally work 7 days a week. We try not to call our team members on the weekend, but Tracy and I speak on the phone every day, at least 2 straight hours a day, sometimes 3. And we're on Zoom calls sometimes doing this. And it's hilarious because this past Sunday, which was Valentine's Day, I had to force myself not to call her at all. And it was so hard, but I still texted her, you know, and Tracy in this whole process right now is still modeling the glasses. And right now she's wearing the Pharaoh
I
glasses.
love those.
She's wearing these white Pharaoh glasses, which are sunglasses, and they have a zebra print on them. And they're really classy. They're really funky. They're a lot of fun. They make you command a room, and she's wearing the mask to match. So when you see these glasses, they're square frames and they have a distinct black and white pattern on the temple. They're very eye-catching and mesmerizing with a zesty black and white stripe on the side. They definitely add a bold and striking look to any outfit that you can wear.
Absolutely. And you guys said that, you did it this summer and you launched, in the middle of a pandemic. Like, why was this so important for you guys to forge ahead with the debut of the brand, even though like that kind of threw like a whole monkey wrench in everyone's plan? But sometimes it has helped, learning how to calm down and take time. How has that helped you guys?
No, definitely. I would say when we started pre-pandemic, when we went to Paris, that was in 2019. And then, we started the process and we were actually supposed to go back to Paris and do some more travels and, more face to face with our manufacturer. However, the pandemic squashed all of that. And then thank God for technology and WhatsApp, because we literally did all of it on WhatsApp and sending back emails. Here's our drawings. Again, Nancey learned how to use Corel Draw. Then we got a graphic designer after to kind of help us, make it really look good, because we knew what we wanted, but, we couldn't really draw it out at the time.
Right.
Well, we did, but it was poor on paper. Just speaking of myself. So the pandemic basically, like you said, slowed things down. It was kind of like, look at this. We got time to critique. Because of the pandemic, we created the mask. Because don't forget, we started with patterns. So when we started with patterns to put on the eyewear, when we first started out, it was just eyewear. And then when the pandemic came, I'm like, hey, Nancey, we're already using fabrics. Let's just do, masks. And she was like, I'm already on it. I was thinking the same thing. So we actually, what is it, telepathy? Like, I
Yeah,
think
telepathy.
something new and she already thinks the same thing.
Right.
So the pandemic helped us create the mask to go with it. And we coined the phrase full face fashion or fabulous face fashion, because now your glasses match your mask, which is great for people who wear glasses.
Mhm.
And we were able to really look at the prototypes when, and say, we don't like this, fix this. We were able to tweak it a little bit more. So the pandemic just slowed us up to really, we wanted the glasses to be perfect. And I feel that we have 37 pairs in the line. And that's also because of the pandemic, because we wanted to start out with 10, but before you knew it, we just could not pick all of them. We love them all. They look so beautiful. So we said, freak it, let's just do it. And we're starting out our line with 37 pairs. We have shades, we have glasses, we have tortoiseshell, we have patterns, we have half wood, we have mirror lenses. We have a little bit of everything. So we think that there's something for everyone, right? Someone who wants to be bold and out there, they will get a full pattern pair of glasses, on the front. Someone who's not a little bit more reserved, they might want to get the half, where's a pattern on the top and maybe regular acetate on the bottom. And then someone who's very, used to the regular designs, they will go for, the pharaoh shades or maybe some of the tortoise that we have. So, we purposely made it where everyone will find something for themselves. These are one of
Right.
my favorites.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
those.
those are Aztec archetypes. And believe it or not, when we first, they're Aztec archetypes. So they're metal gold-plated wire frames with a tortoise shell print with a mirror pink lens, and it's intricate tortoise shell design. And when we first came out with it, it actually didn't come out exactly the way we envisioned. It actually came out better than we
Oh,
envisioned. And when we saw the final product, that was when I said, whoa, Tracy, you did this.
Those are
I
my
love
favorites.
them. Those are,
I wasn't as moved
hmm.
initially. And when I saw them in live and in live in color, that's when I said, oh my gosh. And now Tracy has on our blue Niles, and they're beautiful. They come in blue, they come in brown, which is our gold Nile, because it has gold on the temple. And then we have our signature. They're square glasses, and they come with our signature one as well, which is so dope. They're ideal for any face, actually, because they're unisex, they're beautiful. They brighten every room with a type of dignitary, captivating square. The black frame, the temple has our signature multicolored temples. It's just alive and full of color and fashion.
That's the thing I love about your line. I mean, because everybody knows the two main. I even did an episode on sunglasses, and everybody knows like Luxottica and Stafilo. Everybody knows those brands that make every sunglass, for every luxury company. But
Yeah.
looking at your brand is so fresh. it's so innovative with like the colors on top and the solid on the bottom. I looked at the line on your website and I was so taken aback. I was like, these are so nice. And I'm sending them to my friend. I'm sending the links to my friends. I'm like, you got to check out these glasses because they're
Gotta
so
check them out.
gorgeous. And that's why I was like, you know what? I have to talk to these ladies. They're so talented. I was like, I just love the whole idea, behind your brand. And even talking to you more today, it makes me love it even more.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you
Tracy
so
is
much.
wearing our shades right now. Those are really, these were inspired because we realized that a lot of people like
Tortoiseshell.
the tortoiseshell, but also the aviator look. So
Yeah.
they're your classic aviators, because we realized that not everybody wants to go on the wild side with us, right? So we wanted something that was classic and it has the aviator. And again, they are definitely unisex because we have had just as many women buy them as men.
I love that. And just talking about you guys being designers and Black women designers, like how do you guys, and going over to Paris and going there, like how do you guys feel as Black women designers in the industry? Do you feel that the industry has this new push, after the civil uprising, new push to support Black designers, or you guys felt like it's going to stay the same, or do you feel like it might change?
Well, I've got to say that we know African culture has driven a lot, as far as African American culture has driven a lot as far as we're concerned with fashion, anything having to do with entertainment. So we deep down always knew that this would be something that would rise to the top and people would take notice immediately. We are bringing a classic pair of glasses and adding fun patterns that have cultural flair, diversity,
Right.
and statement pieces. They're not your basic glasses anymore. They add something to it. And they're unique, they're eccentric. There are so many adjectives that I can add in there, but more importantly, they are from the African, Latina, and Caribbean diaspora.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about, the Black culture pushing all types of fashion and style. So you're absolutely correct in that sense. Just asking you, like getting into your sunglasses, like what are some of your favorite sunglass brands? Like do you yourself, when you were looking for glasses, Tracy, because you said you wore glasses your whole life, were you inspired by anybody with, outlandish sunglasses, or this is just something that you decided to be like, I love to make this shape?
No, there's so many eyewear companies out there, and I can tell you the Gucci's, the Tom Fords, I love them all, the Pradas. And once we went to Paris into Fashion Week and we learned a lot more about the eyewear industry, we learned that all those brands, which people think are individual brands, are really owned by one brand who makes the eyewear for them. So yes, they have different designers, but it's owned by one company. And to go a little bit back to the last question, African has pushed culture in every genre, as Nancey has said, but we rarely own the culture. We rarely own the sales of what we produced.
Yeah.
So it was important for Nancey and I when we went to Paris. And again, we were at this huge eyewear summit where there was very few Africans or African Americans there. I mean, by the third day, everyone knew our names. It was like, hi, Tracy, hi, Nancey, because we were the only two Black girls walking around the summit. So it was important for us to say, listen, we want to not only do this, but we want to own it. And we didn't want it to be where, Black people can't own their own eyewear companies. And we actually were a part of a Vision Expo yesterday, where we got to meet other Black-owned eyewear companies. So again, it's not that many of us. It's a very small group compared to, the normal eyewear culture, which is $1 billion business. They said in 2019, eyewear companies made about $139 billion.
Wow.
And I don't even think African American companies got even 1% of that.
Yeah.
So it's important for us not only to create the designs, but to own the company. I know you see a lot of, this person X with this person, they're getting a payout, but they don't own the distribution of it.
Right. They're
So our
nice.
goal is to own the distribution, own the licensing, to make that $1 billion, right? By 2027, the eyewear industry is projected to make $259 billion. So, again, we all wear glasses, but you want to be able to say, hey, I bought from a Black owned company and they have a piece of this pie. And that was important for us. Once we made it to Paris and we saw the landscape and we saw that we were like flies in milk, as you like to say, or dots on a piece of ice cream or something in the snow, we realized that we don't have a handle on the market at all. And we realized, hey, not only are we creating designs for our people, right? We purposely made some of the frames a little bit wider, the nose is a little bit, bridge a little bit longer, the temples, the arms a little bit longer, because in our research, a lot of our friends who have, bigger faces, higher cheekbones, they said the glasses don't fit. I mean, they love the Warby Parkers and the Tom Ford, but they're too tight, they don't fit. So we
Right.
purposely, kind of crafted some of the glasses to fit bigger faces. So, and I have Japanese friends who have bigger faces, so it runs the gamut, Indian, Asian, East Indian. So we wanted to make sure that our line can be for everyone, especially everyone of color, all Black and brown people, but we wanted to own it. And that really was a lesson for us, from our trip. And we're so, indebted for that trip, because that trip literally
Changed our lives.
changed
Yeah.
our lives and made us focus not just on the fashion part, but really on, what we want to make a difference.
I love that. And just getting to, wrapping up, where do you guys see Vontélle going in the future, and where can anyone purchase your brand? If you want to give the website handles, and that all will be on our social media pages as well, but if you want to say it on the episode as well.
So I think the Vontélle in the future is limitless, right? We know that, on average, there's 2 collections that come out annually. So we're already working on our next collection now, with other materials to, just kind of keep stepping it up. So we have so many ideas in our heads. We're putting it on paper. We're putting it on graphic design software. So that's, the line is limitless. And I think we can branch out, in 10 years, maybe even having a home line or, fashion label line, accessory line, bags. We can do anything we want to do. I think we see that in the future. You can buy your Vontélle glasses on www.vontelle, V as in Victor, ONTELLE.com. We're on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook, Vontélle Eyewear. We are on Instagram. So you can find us everywhere. I mean, I think you just type in Vontélle Eyewear and we're there.
I love that. I'm definitely, like I was telling Nancey, I was telling Tracy, I'm going to buy a pair myself. I'm already perusing the website to look for a pair. And I want to thank you guys so much for appearing on Fashion Decipher. I look forward to everything that you guys bring to the eyewear, brands and the industry. Just seeing what you guys have done is such an inspiration to me. I said, I read a couple of articles on you guys on LinkedIn, and I was like, wait a minute, I have to contact them. And I just really appreciate you responding back and saying that you would, be on the podcast. And I really, truly appreciate that.
Thank you, Sean. And one thing we want to add, I want to make sure everybody understands, we also fulfill prescriptions.
Okay.
So that's important to know. You come to us and you say, I need readers. You can get readers in any pair of glasses that you like. You want single vision, you can get single vision. You send us your prescription, we will fill it. Progressives, we fill them. So we, initially we started out with just the glasses. And then when my mom had to pay $500 to put in her prescription, me and Nancey said, it's got to be a more affordable way, because eyeglasses is a medical necessity. You need them. You cannot drive without them. It's on your license. You need your glasses. So when you can't see the chalkboard or you can't see the computer, we do blue light blocker as well. We decided we have to find someone to collaborate with us to input the prescription at an affordable rate. And we did that. I mean, we scoured and went through everything to find a good partner, and we did, because it was important for our community, because no one should be paid $500 to put in a prescription that you need.
Mm-hmm.
So we are able to do them, if you get progressives, it's $99. If you want progressives and you want transition lenses altogether, that's like $150. So we really are, trying to do good. And not only, like I said, you need your glasses. I need them. I can't live without my glasses. I can't see TV. I can't see anything.
Mhm.
So it was important to do it at an affordable rate. So
Yeah.
not only are you getting the glasses, you get the prescription. And we are also partnering up with WIN, which is called Women in Need, which is a New York City's shelter supporting housing system. And every time people buy glasses, we are giving proceeds and glasses to women in need at these shelters. Because again, people need glasses to see, and we know eyewear is very expensive. So we picked a couple pieces in our collection to say if any of the women in these shelters need glasses, we will work with them to do that. And we're partnering up with optometrists to give free eye exams to these women in these shelters and in need. So right now we're only focusing on the women and the men because they have men in the shelters as well. And hopefully by next year we can focus on kids and actually have an eyewear line for children. We don't have that yet. But so we really want to give back. And eyewear, people don't take it as serious, but it is a medical necessity. And we want to make sure people understand that.
That's beautiful, Tracy. That's a really beautiful part that, I didn't know that part. That's absolutely beautiful that you guys do that. And I just want to say thanks again for appearing on Fashion Decipher. And I look forward, like I said, to what you guys bring to the luxury eyewear business.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Sean. We appreciate you.
You're welcome. Bye.
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 Hi guys, it's Sean. Make sure you visit our website, fashiondecipher.com, to get a visual on what we're talking to you about. Check out pics from events, of guest speakers, and exhibits. If you miss anything we post, you can visit our archives page. Also, while you're there, hit that subscribe button, leave your email, and if you like, a comment. Tell us what you think or what you would want to hear on an upcoming episode. Don't forget to follow and friend Fashion Decipher on social media. Check out what we're up to. Speak with you next week.